here are a few rappers facing life in prison. If you've heard of New York drill, you likely know who K-Flock is. After Pop Smoke, K-Flock was one of the most popular rappers to come out, while New York drill was becoming more and more mainstream. His songs were used for many dance trends, and he even collaborated with Cardi B, gaining him more attention outside of New York and TikTok. Everything was going good for K-Flock until one evening in 2021 that changed his life forever. On December 16th, 2021, K-Flock was seen on camera walking out of the barbershop being followed by another person. It was said that the two men got into an argument while inside, and K-Flock left, trying to avoid an altercation. After the guy followed him outside, they walked out of the camera's view, and you could hear gunshots start to go off. K-Flock was arrested shortly after the altercation, and despite it looking like self-defense, in New York, you aren't supposed to be carrying a weapon at all. So he was hit with a gun charge on top of the murder charge, and best believe he was facing some serious time. Some time passed, and things started to look better for the rapper. But earlier this year, in February, they decided to throw RICO charges on top of it. RICO charges are some of the worst charges to have put against you. And in Flock's situation, his only options are to snitch or get life in prison. But this next rapper's own dad snitched on him. Ksoo is an artist from Jacksonville, Florida that hung with Young and Ace and his crew. Ksoo was arrested in September 2020 on one count of first-degree murder. But while he was behind bars, they threw another murder on him for the February 19th murder of Adrian Gaynor, or Bibby. Some evidence they had against him was the time he and a few of his members were posted up with a Mike Bibby NBA Vancouver Grizzlies jersey taunting his ops. They also used a video of Ksoo on Instagram Live with Ace talking to each other. In the video, you can hear Ace saying, "Ksoo, make your face go," which is used in many of his diss songs lyrics.
Hell, I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm outside. Hey, I'm in North Carolina. Face go. Say what? Ksoo, make your face go. Hey, that nigga say, niggas say they outside. and that bitch outside.
But that wasn't all. They had another video of him rapping about harming people while toting a strap. It's crazy how these rappers move so sloppy, knowing they committed such a serious crime. But the wildest part of Ksoo's story is that his father, Abdul Robinson Sr., was charged with being an accessory to the murders. His father didn't waste any time. He immediately folded and told on his son, throwing him under the bus and pretty much ruining his case. I personally think it's crazy to assist your son in a murder and then turn around and tell on him. What kind of role model is that? His father went on Instagram to defend his actions, saying, "If it was me and my daddy in a situation like this, I would have been freed my daddy a long time ago. No matter what my consequences would have been." He continued to say, "Especially if he's a good, great daddy, he could do more for me out of jail than in jail. Who leave their daddy in jail to rot, especially when you know he innocent?" And he finished his rant saying, "I would have been stood up and said my daddy ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You niggas out in that free world talk that talk out there until it's time to walk that walk, facing that life sentence." I personally don't believe him. I feel like if Ksoo's dad was in that situation with his dad, he would have told on him too. But what's even more surprising is when the police told Ksoo that his dad was snitching, he wasn't even concerned. His lawyer released a statement saying, "This is yet another witness that came to them in handcuffs. We're not concerned. The government has repeatedly said how bad of a guy the father is. Now they present him as some pillar of truth." He pretty much said that his dad is just trying to lie to save himself, and they have video proof that Ksoo wasn't the shooter. Similar to K-Flock's case, this next rapper is facing 20 to life over a RICO charge. Young Thug is a well-known artist from Atlanta, Georgia that has collaborated with nearly everyone in the industry. He wasn't so accepted at first, but he beat the odds and eventually rose to the top. But everything came crashing down around him in 2022. In May 2022, Thug was arrested on serious gang charges, along with 27 other members of his group YSL. This had fans distraught because out of all rappers, we didn't expect Young Thug to be a gang leader. During his first weeks of trial, things were looking good for Thug and his crew, but just like they say, one bad apple spoils the others. And that's exactly what happened in Thug's situation. All it took was one member to fold under pressure and everyone else followed along. Thug's right-hand man, Gunna, was one of the most surprising though. These two were like Beavis and Butthead. You always saw them together. So when he folded and told on YSL, This shocked the fans and even Young Thug. And as I said earlier, before all these members folded, Thug actually might have had a chance of freedom, but now it's looking really bad. It's said that if convicted, the least amount of time he could get is 20 years. And 20 years isn't just a slap on the wrist, so I know Thug is in there regretting a lot of things. But nowadays, they're handing out RICO charges like driving tickets. Even our former president Donald Trump was arrested on RICO. And what's really crazy about that is it's the same prosecutor that is trying to put RICO charges on Young Thug. Man, she's going crazy with these charges. But this channel is about rappers. We're not here to talk about Donald. While we're on Young Thug, I'll also include his main enemy too, YFN Lucci. Lucci is a well-known rapper from Atlanta. Lucci is facing a RICO charge just like Thug, and they're trying to link him to multiple crimes like murder, aggravated assault, and many more serious offenses. They're also trying to use some of his lyrics from his songs and gang signs from his videos against him. And despite him being locked up almost a year before Thug was locked up, they postponed his trial to the same date as Thug's, hoping Lucci would testify. But his attorneys quickly shut that down. He said any party can announce, for example, that Abraham Lincoln is on their witness list, but those words alone are meaningless. So to be 100% clear, Rayshawn Bennett will not be a witness in the YSL case. He then said that Lucci is more focused on his own pending case rather than trying to be a witness for Thugs. Let's just hope these two are innocent, and if they aren't, they get what they deserve. Another well-known rapper facing serious time is Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap popped off around 2015 when he released his single, Trap Queen. He had a solid run in the following years, but he eventually disappeared. But when his name reappeared in the media, it wasn't for a hit record. It was for a federal drug charge. And no, it isn't like your neighborhood dealer. This guy was moving loads. Fetty Wap was arrested on October 28, 2021, along with his brother and 4 other men. They were caught with $1.5 million and over 15 kilos of drugs and a few straps. The men also accused of distributing over 100 kilos of drugs across Long Island, New York, and New Jersey from June 2019 to June 2020. Man, that's some kingpin type stuff right there. He was released on November 5th of the same year on a $5,000 bond, and things were looking pretty decent for him. But Fetty threw all of this down the drain on December 11th when he threatened someone over FaceTime with a strap. He pointed the fire at them, and he said he was going to harm them and everyone they're with. By having a strap and threatening someone, which is a violation of the state law, he violated the terms of his bond and went right back to jail. This was pretty dumb on Fetty's part, can't lie. They already got you on a monitor, and you think it's smart to threaten someone with a weapon. You gotta be smarter than that. But this isn't his only time getting into legal trouble. In 2017, he was caught drunk drag racing on a New York City highway, and in 2019, he was arrested and accused of assaulting 3 employees at a hotel. They said he hit the parking attendant after he got into an argument and was arrested on 3 counts of battery. Fetty Wap's run is pretty much over, and I just hope that he takes the time out to turn his life around while behind bars. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give this one a watch too.